Welcome to another edition of Bowie TV Sports Spotlight. During this hour, we're bringing you highlights from our shows focused on all things sports in the DMV. Please be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms. First up on Pitt Sports Zone, Morgan State University star defensive back Jadon Carter shares his thoughts after being invited to the HBCU Legacy Bowl game in New Orleans. On Baltimore Ravens Rundown, we take a look at highlights and press conferences from the Ravens' Week 13 loss against the Cincinnati Bengals. Lastly, we take a look at highlights and press conferences from the Commanders' Week 13 loss against the Denver Broncos on Sunday Night Football. Don't go anywhere, and as always, enjoy this week's episode of Bowie TV Sports Spotlight. What's going on, everybody? How you doing, man? I am your host. That's funny. Ain't even gonna laugh. I am your host, Terrence Pitts, a.k.a. Pitts, and you already know what it is, man. It is going down. I have Jadon Carter with me today, and you already know what it is. Jadon is the defensive back from Morgan State University. Prior to that, y'all seen him in other colors as well, but we'll get to those things later down the road. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, little bro. It's good to see you.
You too.
Hey, bro, when I tell you, I ain't gonna hold you before we get into the interview, man. When I tell you, because I was ill on the day it came out, and for some reason, I opened up IG, and that was the first thing I seen. I called Pops like, ah! I was going crazy, man.
So I got it the day before at like 11 p.m. I was about to go to sleep. I said, I thought it was fake for a second.
Yeah, bruh. So listen, man, before we get in there, let's start off, mildly, for those that don't know you or, have not heard or who have not heard from Jadon Carter. If you can, man, let's do a couple icebreakers. What is your favorite food?
Favorite food? I'd probably say hibachi.
Hibachi?
Yeah, hibachi.
Can't go wrong with some chicken shrimp. What is your favorite travel destination or favorite place to visit?
My dream vacation is probably Dubai.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see Dubai as well for me too. Yeah. And favorite NFL team?
49ers.
49ers?
Yeah.
Okay, they just put in that work against the door and them Cleveland Browns. Appreciate you for knocking off another AFC North team. We're grateful for it. So, man, I have it broken down into 7 different sections that we'll cover throughout this process, man. But, one thing for sure, two for certain, I have always, I tell you all the time, and I tell your parents, you've always been a silent assassin because, the journey wasn't easy. You know what I mean? Like, and the opportunities that you worked hard for and you earned, you didn't necessarily get prior to transferring. You wasn't the starter, but you led a team in interceptions. You had 2 interceptions for a touchdown, right? You was all freshman CIAA. Then the next year you come back, you're a preseason first team favorite. And then you still don't get the nod to start like you should have, or it was some intermittence there. Just talk about what this journey has been like for you throughout these last 4 years.
It's really been ups and downs. It's tested my patience. It's really just been like it hasn't gone how I wanted it to, but I don't think I'd change it just for the simple fact that it made me who I am. Like these last 4 years, I can say I've grown tremendously from when I came to college. So basically, like I said, I wouldn't change it, but I still feel like I have more to do. I have more ball to play. So I'm just looking forward to the next steps.
2025 HBCU Legacy Bowl invitee. Yeah. What is that? What was the feeling when how did you feel when you first found out you were selected for the HBCU Legacy Bowl?
I was kind of in shock because I didn't expect it to happen at that moment. Like I said, it was late in the night. Like it was like 11 p.m. when I got it, and I just got like a random follow from HBCU, and then I got a DM from him. I'm like, okay, so that I got in. So, but I was waiting for it for a long time. Like, I didn't expect it to happen right then and there, but I'm glad it happened.
You know, season's winding down. I'm pretty sure, like in your man's, like in some of ours as well. I think it was like a couple days prior to that. I posted a video, of your play against Norfolk,
Mhm.
and said all we waiting for is that HBCU Legacy Bowl invite.
Yeah.
you know. And I think that's the catalyst of who you are, along the track of along the way. You have defied the odds. You humbly accepted whatever was taking place. You've never lashed out. You've never showed a side of you that would be and considered bad character. However, I wouldn't consider a bad character knowing the journey that you went through. But the way you handled it was with nothing but grace and standard. And
Mhm.
so for that, you have been more than deserving. In addition to your ability to ball hawk, your ability to create turnovers, and that play specifically, playing against Norfolk when you punched the ball out. I know you guys. I know this is a technique you guys practice, but
Mhm.
when does it become technique versus instinct in the game?
It's just really when I see the ball, like if I see a little bit of it, I feel like it's a chance to get it. So in that moment, like he was running with it loose, and like, I feel like he was trying to just duck his shoulder, so that was a chance for me to just punch it out.
Absolutely. Second, I want to talk about your journey in the background. You know, can you share a bit of your journey? We kind of really did, but in a little more detail. Can you share a bit of your journey to college football and what motivated you to pursue that path?
As a kid, I was watching my brother work out when I was about like 3 years old, watching him work out, and I don't know what it was, but it was just something about like the game that I just got that it was just drawn to me. Like I just wanted to play. I knew I could do something with it, so that's where the love came from, and then seeing the fun I had as I grew older, as I kept playing, like I wanted to make it a passion, and like it was a passion of mine.
How what's the feeling, right? Because you bring up your older brother, Jadon Carter, whom also played in the HBCU Legacy Bowl.
Mhm.
How exciting is it, not only for you or for your brother, but for your parents, to watch their two children, whom are now grown adults and being able to be rewarded in a way that you guys are by being able to showcase your talents at the HBCU Legacy Bowl?
And the credit goes to them. They put us in a position to be able to do these things to deliver our dreams. So I said that the credit goes all to them. They've been there every step of the way. They haven't missed any games. So like we just this is our way of paying them back.
Absolutely. And a shameless plug here for all of you guys tonight. Join me as we watch the BET HBCU Honor Awards. I had the absolute pleasure of doing the red carpet, and anything that's HBCU related, I'm always going to be a part of it. So shout out to BET, shout out to HBCU Honors for all that they're doing and honoring the HBCU award recipients and honorees. You know, the third area I wanted to talk to you about was the HBCU experience, right?
Mhm.
So, how has being a part of an HBCU shaped your football career and your personal growth?
My football career, I would say it shows like it showed me another side to it. It showed me that there aren't ball. I mean, there are ballers everywhere. It's not you don't have to go FBS or like Power Five to do something to take this to the next level. So that opened my eyes in that aspect, and then just in life, like it showed me like if you want something, you just gotta take it. Like HBCU, we are in a big spotlight that you would want to be in college football, but like you're able. It's ways for you to put yourself in that spotlight if you do all the right things, do the right necessary steps. So I would say like it molds you in that aspect to just be a little bit more hungry than the next man.
Absolutely. We want to go to goals and intentions, right? Talk about what are your main goals for the HBCU Legacy Bowl and how do you plan to stand out?
My how I plan to stand out. I want to just continue to be a turnover machine. I want to continue to the things that I did in college at Morgan and Bowie. And then my goals for the HBCU Bowl, the Legacy Bowl, is to for one, win the game. I want to actually win the game. But for two, I want to get like another side, like the professional, the business side of football. See how that is. I want to just get my feet wet, talk to some people, network with some people, and that's what I plan to get out of it.
Absolutely. And, when you talk about the combat preparation and
Mhm.
being able to showcase your talents in front of the other 32 scouts and coaches within the NFL, how are you preparing for that part, the NFL combat part? And what specific skills or attributes are you hoping to showcase?
I want to showcase, like I said, my ball skills. I want to showcase my speed, that I got faster. And I don't really don't want to change anything else. I feel like I'm at a good size. I want to get a little I want to show off my IQ. It's not really a lot, but that I want to
Yeah,
change. But I'm still working. I'm still with my trainer, so we're gonna be prepared for sure.
absolutely. Advice and inspiration. What advice would you give to a younger athlete who aspires to follow in similar footsteps?
Just keep digging. Like you never know when your time's gonna come. Just make sure, just stay ready so you don't got just stay ready so you don't gotta get ready. Like that's the best advice I can give somebody. Yeah.
When you talk about HBCUs, and we often talk about the misconception or the misunderstanding of what an HBCU means. Can you share what your experience in regards to the culture of an HBCU?
Yeah, the HBCUs is a great place to be, especially as an African American. Um, you're surrounded, like everywhere you go, you're seeing people that look like you. You're seeing different walks of life. You're meeting new people. I'm not saying you can't get that at a PWI, but it's just kind of different when you're not walking around here as the minority. And you see people just like you, come from similar backgrounds as you. So I feel like everybody should experience HBCU.
Absolutely. When you talk about, for me, a lot of times when I ask individuals, if you can sum up an HBCU in one word, what would it be? And a lot of times, it's family, it's love, it's excellence, it's legacy. And it has a lot of different words attributed and attached to it. If you could sum up HBCUs for you and your perspective in one word, what would it be?
One word, I would say culture. I would say culture. Yeah, culture.
You know, when we look at the HBCU athletics, and we see the upcoming of HBCU Go TV, and the other channels that come during certain periods of times, how important is the exposure media wise, for HBCUs?
It's big because, like I said, like we're not under the spotlight as others like major schools. So I feel like if you put a little bit of light on HBCU, you can see the good that really comes out of them.
Yeah, absolutely. The goal of the HBCU Legacy Bowl is to being able to showcase your talents, and putting you in those environments to where not everyone gets afforded an opportunity to. Have you thought of any questions, or have you sought any guidance or advice from Jordan, because he's went through this process already, and
Mhm.
to not necessarily to take away from your experience, but to give you an understanding, of maybe you should go in this way, or this is how it is, or this is how it was. So if you see these things, then you follow along this path.
And he's told me it's a 5 day interview. Like they watch every little thing you do, from what time you wake up, how you walk, how you talk, how you carry yourself, what you eat. Like they watch every little thing. So I'm just gonna be when I go down, I'm gonna be mindful of that and just I don't wanna not be myself, but I'm gonna take those into consideration.
Last time we was there to watch your brother Jordan,
Mhm.
and watching him play on that Human Stadium, Tulane University's football field. When you were watching him, at any moment prior to or during the game, was there a self reflection of you out there?
Yeah, it's oh every time I see him play, it's always a like dang like we really playing college football like it's a little different when you're playing and then watching like especially the one you look up to. So when
Yeah.
I saw him, it was just like dang like in my book we made it like we don't have to go to the NFL, we don't have to do a whole bunch of things. We lived out our dream. We did a lot of things that most people would wanna that most people or weren't able to do. So I just feel like it's a blessing.
One question I've always wanted to ask you, Jay,
Yeah.
was your freshman year, Jordan transfers to Southern.
hmm
What were your thoughts?
I
How did
was
you feel?
mad. I was mad. I'm not gonna lie. I was mad because like everybody that was an impact like was a reason why I came to Bowie left in a year. Coach, my brother left. Coach Wilson left. Coach Sewell left, and my corners coach left. So it's like, dang, like y'all just gonna leave me here, like after we, and then like I think I was thankful for the ring, but I'm like, dang, now I really gotta like do this like by myself. Like I had to maneuver that. I was mad for a second, but after a while, I got over it.
It's crazy because, you know, for the longest, I've always looked at the pieces and when they moved, and, everyone had a part or everybody had a relationship with somebody.
Mhm.
And I think it was until of recently when it dawned on me, like, Jadon lost the most
Yeah,
because his brother was there, and I'm sure your goal and your dreams was to really to be able to play on that field with them at the
yeah,
same time. And then when I was like, man, so that was a question that I've been wanting to ask you for like
yeah,
a month
yeah. I've never got to play with him. Never got to play
now.
with him.
Yes, and I can only imagine, that being a parent's dream too.
Yeah.
It's similar like the Rondé and Tiki Barber.
Mhm.
Being able to, celebrate both of your children, but when both of your children are on the same team is even something more special. And your parents, they travel everywhere.
Yeah,
It
everywhere.
don't matter, like everywhere. The game ball. Let's
Mhm.
talk about that during turnovers,
Uh,
because somehow your game balls always end up with the
I got to.
pedestals.
I got to. I got to. Every pick, everything. If I can, I will run it over there first, give it to my dad, and then I go celebrate with my teammates. I got you. I think that started at Bowie, like homecoming. I just caught a pick and I just said forget it. I'm just gonna give it to my dad. And ever since then, I've been doing it every game.
Yeah, I'm like, do you catch flack for that? Like, did they
Nah.
say anything about giving the football
Sometimes,
away?
sometimes they try to get it back, but I tell my dad, I say just go up the stands, take it to the car or something. Like, just go. Yeah, you got to leave.
listen, listen, don't look back.
Yeah, do not get that back. Do not give that back.
So is there a case at home, because not only you but Jordan as well. So is
Mhm.
there a case in the house that has Jordan's
Yeah.
turnovers and then Jaden's turnovers,
Yeah,
like, or
it's a. My dad labeled them. He put like a little label on our names and then the date and then who we played. So it's a little label sticker on all of them.
okay?
Yeah.
You could tell me this is only between you and me.
Uh,
Who
uh,
who who got more turnovers?
I have more for sure. I have more. I got more for sure. Yeah, yeah, I got
hey,
more.
hey, Jordan, man, I ain't trying to start. I just wanted to ask the question we always think.
Yeah, I got more for sure.
It was the way you said it, like non-verbally. You already started pointing.
Yeah, for sure. I got bragging rights on that one.
Then he'd be like, "Well, you should, because you played a different position at first."
He try to make excuses, but I'm a real playmaker.
How dope was it, just to be able to, you know, iron sharpen iron.
Mhm.
One, not only with you and your brother, but the fact that your dad coached out when I was little.
It was it, we me and my brother we used to butt heads a lot as a kid. I think it was just like we just wanted to show our dominance and like assert our dominance.
Yeah.
But I feel like as we got older, and we just that button head just became like brotherly love. Like it just I don't know what switched, but it definitely was that what that was needed as kids.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and at any time you have, kids and similar, children who plays a sport of the same, it's going to be a button of his, but it's not for the wrong reasons, And it's funny. It's similar to like me and my brother. It was times when, my mom would have me go outside and hit against my brother because.
This is Karita Parks with Bowie TV. The Baltimore Ravens fell at home on Thanksgiving night to the Cincinnati Bengals with a 32-14 loss. It was an uncharacteristic game for Lamar Jackson. In total, the offense had 5 turnovers. 3 of those turnovers were at the hands of Jackson. There's been questions the past few weeks about his health. He says that he is fine and he just has to be consistent.
No, I just got to be consistent. Can't have turnovers, especially in any game, not just this game, but any game. Can't have turnovers, 2 fumbles, an interception, 2 interception. We got to be consistent. We put our defense on the field too much. Can't have it.
As it relates to the consistency of the offense, post-game, I spoke to Derrick Henry and asked him what is it going to take for this offense to find some consistency and what he thinks the issues have been.
I mean, we have 5 turnovers a day. Execution. Just got to be better. String plays together, finish drive at points, and shoot ourselves in the foot with mistakes.
Defensively, the Ravens offense, they played well in the first half, and they were just not able to keep up that same intensity in the second half with all the offensive mistakes, which was putting a lot of pressure on them. Additionally, with Joe Burrow being back, there was not much of a pass rush besides the 1 sack by Marlon Humphrey. No one else was able to put pressure on Burrow. Post-game, Mike Green talked about what he felt the challenge was for the pass rush tonight.
If it's second and short all the time or third and short, you're not going to really get many opportunities to rush the passer. So I think we just got to get teams to continue to go into drop back pass situations, and I think that's just going to open up more pass rushing opportunities for us.
The Ravens will get a mini bye, but then they are back at home against the Steelers in another divisional matchup. So they're going to have to figure it out quickly, especially on the offense. This is Karita Parks with Bowie TV. That has been your Ravens Rundown. Be sure to follow us on Bowie TV Sports at Bowie TV Sports. And also you can find us on Comcast in Prince George's County.
When you turn the ball over as much as we did tonight, that's the story of the game. We got to do it. We just can't do it. Can't do it if you want to win football.
John, did Cincinnati do anything different? I know the turnovers, of course, but did they show you anything different defensively that you weren't expecting? Or
John, were you happy with how much you ran the ball tonight? I think in the second quarter.
You try to do what you can do to win the game. I mean, if they're going to put a bunch of people up there, we had a lot of open guys, and you saw opportunities to score. I think we had 2 of them called back that were the result of throwing the ball against the looks they were giving us. So it's a matter of finishing those plays and putting them in the end zone.
John, what can you tell us about Nate Wiggins with the foot injury? How serious is it?
Nate's injury is not serious in terms of the long-term injury. I don't know if it'll be next week or what. We'll have to see where that goes. And then Chandler is a more serious knee injury.
John, speaking of injuries, do you have any update on Justice Hill? He suddenly was hurt and then he was on IR.
Yeah, he had a neck thing that was kind of bothering him, and all of a sudden it caused some issues, and they went and looked at it. He's got a disc issue. It's going to keep him out for a few weeks.
John, I mean, the Jets and the Bengals, before you guys played them, not very, high statistic defenses. We hear a lot from Todd Monken after games, got to scheme better, got to coach better, got to execute better. Do you see evidence that can happen after, especially the last two performances of your offense?
Of course, absolutely. It's a National Football League. Anybody that watches the National Football League, is a fan of the National Football League, or covers the National Football League, or watches the other games, understands it's a week-to-week league.
John, is there any reason for you think Lamar's had accuracy issues in recent weeks?
I just think you try to do the best you can from play to play and game to game to execute and make plays.
Is he fully healthy?
Fully healthy? Yeah, he's fully healthy to play. Yeah, absolutely. That's why he's playing.
Okay.
John, I guess what would you have wanted to see the offense do better against some of those cover zero looks that Cincinnati showed?
Well, I mean, you put it all together. You like to be able to make them pay for it. You know, get the ball in somebody's hands quickly, or you know, pick it up and extend the play if you can. I mean, all those things are what you try to do. We did not do a good job of that tonight.
John, you've preached turnovers all year ever since going back to the summer. Is it just reminding them, or like how frustrating is it kind of?
It's just one of those kind of games. I mean, we had a bad game with that. You know, we did not protect the football. It's not good. You know, it's on me. I'm a coach. You know, and my job is to make it clear to the guys that that's not okay. You know, you put the ball away, you protect the football. That's how it's done. And you know, you catch it, you put it away, you finish the run, you do whatever you got to do to protect the football, because that's job one. I mean, that's what wins and loses games. Our guys know that. Everybody knows it. And it's my responsibility to make sure they understand that, and that we practice it that way every single day. It carries over to the game.
John, we talked early in the season about there were some games where you felt like the defense was just on the field for too many plays. Did you feel like that happened again tonight? They kind of
I hadn't
wore
thought
down?
about it that way, Charles. I'll take a look at that though, because we look at it tomorrow. But I hadn't thought of it that way. Just quick after the game.
That's uncharacteristic. We don't usually see that with you. What do you think has been, you know, the issue not only tonight but maybe over the past few weeks where it doesn't seem like, you know, your normal self out there?
No, I just got to be consistent. You know, can't have turnovers, especially in any game, not just this game, but any game. Can't have turnovers, 2 fumbles, or an interception, 2 interception. We got to be consistent. We put our defense on the field too much. Can't have it.
How frustrating is it to make those kind of mistakes? To your point, it's something you've talked about a few times this year. Can't put the defense in that position. But how would you describe the frustration level, I guess, with that?
I can't describe the level of frustration. You know, I'm ticked off. You know, it's not even frustrating. I'm just mad because, like I said, we can't have that. And turnovers is a big part of winning, losing games. And turning the ball over, giving them the extra possession. This is the outcome.
Lamar, did it start to feel like it became a snowball effect after, you know, the likely fumble, your fumble that you're trying to pump fake? It just seemed like a lot of weird fumbles happening.
Yeah, it was, like you said, weird fumbles, you know, but gotta hold on to the ball. You know, I'm not even talking about, like I'm talking about myself, you know, hold on to the ball and make throws, because I feel like I've missed throws. I don't miss those, you know. Just gotta be consistent.
Lamar,
Lamar,
you've
is it
been
a
on the
mechanical thing with the accuracy?
You know, I've been doing that all this time. Just gotta be consistent.
Lamar, we've heard you say some of these after recent games, even wins. You've kind of said we got to put more points on the board. We got to be more consistent. Why do you think the offense continues to trend the way it's trended?
I don't know. I can't call it. I really can't. I don't want to make nothing up. I feel like we were doing things pretty good on the field. We got first downs. We drove the ball down the field sometimes, and then a turnover happened, mishap, you know, here and there. We just got to be on the same page, be consistent. Like I just said, that's the biggest key right now, being consistent throughout the game, first quarter to fourth quarter, and not putting our defense on the field as much as we did.
Lamar,
The
I know
Bengals
you
really
said
had a lot of success doing zero blitzes against you on third down. Anything in particular that you felt like that look was giving you trouble tonight?
No.
Lamar, you said if I'm out there, I'm good enough to play. I can play. You've been on the injury report with a hamstring, with an ankle, with a knee, with a toe. Is that affecting you? That's is it affect? I know you say when I'm out there, I feel like I can make a place, but are all those compilation of injuries affecting you out there and affecting the throws?
No, I just gotta be more consistent. I gotta make those throws. I don't miss them in practice, so I shouldn't be missing them in the game.
Do you feel like you're seeing the field the way that you want to? I mean, is it still unfolding the way that you expect it to, and it's just the execution that's not
Yeah, I feel like I'm seeing the field pretty good for the most part, you know, but I just gotta be consistent. I just gotta be consistent.
Sorry, Mark. Can you take us through what happened on that second lost fumble of yours, the aborted pass?
Yeah, I seen Zay on the post. Post was covered too. I seen Zay on the post. And I tried to put the ball back to make sure it wasn't no temper too Mike. You know, I didn't want to just throw it blindly when I was putting it back. It just
More
into the ball.
Team now 6-6. You know, where you guys go? You had a good streak with five wins at 6-6. Where you guys go from here?
Gotta go watch film, clean up what happened tonight. You know, just lock in because we got 2 divisional opponents. We gotta see Cincinnati in 2 weeks. We gotta see Steelers this up, 10 days. Just gotta lock in, man, be consistent, put points on the board like I've been saying. But we just gotta actually do it.
Lamar, you guys have had a lot of success here offensively over the years. Do you feel like this is the toughest stretch since you've been a quarterback here offensively?
I know.
What do you think you guys, what do you need to do to find that consistency?
Just be me. Be Lamar. So.
Mark, did you have to do anything protective with your cleat with the toe injury? Was that not a factor?
No.
Finishing drives most often.
Not enough production. You know, we're finishing the drives. Too many mistakes. You know, a lot of things that we've been battling.
Ronnie, considering that this offense for so long has had its identity on the ground, how did you feel like the approach to the run game was tonight?
How I feel like what?
How did you feel about the approach to the run game tonight?
I thought the run game, you know, especially early on, we got going, got Derek going, rushed for a touchdown early on. I think we just got to keep it going and keep the momentum going, and you know, we make sure that's our identity, and we have to make it work.
I guess, Ronnie, when you say make sure, is there like a message on the sideline? Like, for example, you know, after Derek's touchdown run, I think with 6.5 minutes left in the first quarter, he had 2 touches in the rest of the half. Like, do you guys want to? Are there instances where you guys can like encourage coaches, like, hey, can we go back to this? Or?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely, you know, part of it is the collaboration part, and you know, wanting to get back to the run, and that's something that, you know, we encourage the coaches to do when we come back to the sideline, and but you know, we're still gonna go out there and, you know, run whatever play is called.
How'd you like Emory Jones Jr. tonight?
I thought he played great. You know, besides the 1 penalty, but the effort he gave, you know, he showed that he could play in this league.
You kind of described just level of frustration and you know, 5 turnovers and not clicking kind of offensively, and to some of the points that you just made.
Yeah, no, it's very frustrating, you know, especially, you know, been around football for a little bit, played for a while, and just understanding the type of personnel we have, the type of people we have, and that's just not our standard, you know, especially speaking for the offense. Not the defense did a great job, but offensively, you know, that's not our standard.
Can it kind of snowball when you have, you know, drives kind of ending in those sort of mistake-laden ways, I guess? Can that build on you know, frustration or whatever?
Yeah, no doubt. That's, you know, the other team getting momentum, and that's just part of the game. You know, adversity is going to strike, you know, and going late into the season, postseason, those type of things are going to happen. And, you know, the best teams weather those type of storms and still push through at the end.
Ronnie, why do you feel like it just hasn't clicked with the offense as a whole kind of yet this year?
You know, I can't speak to, you know, one thing in particular, but I just know that I believe and I'm confident that we're going to figure it out. And I know we are, because, you know, I'm going to make sure that, you know, this offense gets going to the way it's supposed to be.
Ronnie, do you feel like injuries or something else has been affecting Lamar Jackson's play lately?
No, I can't say so from, you know, my perspective. You know, I can't speak for him. So.
Ronnie, you said you're going to make sure the offense gets going. What does that look like?
I think, you know, just not leaving anything, you know, unanswered, you know, making sure all the questions are asked, and making sure everyone knows what we're going to do in any situation. Yeah.
You know, I think that, you know, as a game, there were some really good things, and but we just weren't efficient enough. So we didn't play well enough as a team.
Lamar kind of seems at a loss for some of the things that happened in the last couple of weeks, especially on the throws. He said he's tipping it in practice, but it's not coming through in the game the same way. Are you seeing, what are you kind of seeing from him that just feels different?
Lamar's great. I got no complaints, man. He's our guy, and full trust. And man, it's football's the way of life, man. Sometimes bad things happen. We learn to rebound, grow, learn, and not long ago we were 1-5. We're 6-6. We're gonna be all right. We just gotta keep fighting, keep on, keep being humble, being thankful, and I'm certainly thankful for him.
Mark, 5 turnovers, I think the most you guys have had on offense since like 2013. Can that sort of wear on you guys, frustrate you throughout the course of the game?
Those are controllables, those are things that we can control, and I think that's the beauty of it. So just go back and focus on ourselves, focus on taking care of that ball, and good things will happen.
How do you kind of mentor Isaiah lately after a tough play with Humble?
And he was fighting his butt off, nonstop scrambles, making plays, and again, I mean, he probably won't that back, but he was playing his butt off. I'm very proud of him.
Does it make it more disappointing to fall in this one when the defense was able to keep Joe Burrow out of the end zone in the first half and just kind of gave you guys a fighting chance?
Yeah, they certainly did, and for us as an offense, and I think there's plays, all of offense, defense, special teams that we wish we had back, but we got to be better for those guys.
Did set the record for receptions for this franchise. I know in this moment probably not as maybe great as it could have been a win, but what does that mean to you?
Yeah, I think you said it. Now, right now, I'm just, I wish we would have won this game, and but that's okay. We get back in the lab. I'm very thankful, to be in this position to, have that record. But a lot of people around me to thank for that, and yeah.
After you guys were holding the field goals, the second half things kind of went up.
Yeah, we ended up giving up 2 touchdowns in the second half. I can't remember, but I know I gave up 1 as well. And yeah, man, as a defense, they don't score, they don't win, regardless of the circumstances, and that's just how it is.
So, Quan, when you're preparing for a team like this, I know you guys know who Joe Burrow is, but does it matter when he's missed this much time? Does that affect the preparations for a game like this?
No, absolutely not. Like, there'll be a couple small things for sure, but at the end of the day, he's one of the elite quarterbacks in his league, and at the end of the day, he's going to show up and do his job, and our job is to stop him from doing his job, and we didn't do that good enough tonight, and I think that's what it is, and that's just everyone just has to look themselves in the mirror, both sides of the ball, and be like, did I do my job to the best of my ability? And that's what I think it is, including myself.
Felt like Nate had a pretty good first half going, and then obviously goes down. Just did that change anything for you guys defensively? You feel like how did that impact him?
It sucks, when a warrior goes down like Nate, one of the best corners in the league, but it's the next man up mentality, regardless of the circumstances. The next man up has to step up, and I thought guys gonna make his plays, but at the end of the day, it's more about us, and we just didn't get the job done today. And I don't think point play would hurt us made us lose this game.
Well, a couple home primetime games this year have not gone your way. When they so often have in this organization, that make it tough.
At the end of the day, every game is important, and when you're at home, you have to defend your turf, and I think that's what it's just about. And like I said earlier, it's just more so each and every person has to look themselves in the mirror and just say, did I do all that I could to make us win? And I think that's just what it is, including myself. That's just as simple as it is. And we just gotta play better.
For this long weekend now, what was the message in the locker room post-game with Coach Harbaugh?
Yeah, that was the message. It was the message for the locker room, and it's just more about we have to handle what we have to handle.
Do one more, please.
Real fun, just on Joe Burrow, with being back, how he played and how did you guys particularly second?
Yeah, like I said, he's one of the elite quarterbacks in this league, so he's always going to present a lot of challenges. But at the end of the day, it's more about us, and it's about us just doing our job to the best of our ability. And we didn't do that play in and play out. Made some great plays, but at the end of the day, our job is to prevent them from scoring, and they scored. And so they have the mindset, they don't score, they don't win. So that's as simple as it is.
Thoughts? Your thoughts after the game?
I think it was pretty simple. We got to play better. We got to execute better. We got to make more plays than they make. And I think we fell short in all 3 of those categories. So I think that's just the ultimate reasoning behind this loss, and so I think as a whole we just gotta find a way to make all the corrections and make sure that we move on and get ready for our next game.
From a pass rush standpoint, just after having so much success over the past couple weeks, just kind of where did things kind of not work today, you think?
Yeah, it's a lot of things that go into pass rushing. There's time that the quarterback holds the ball. There's different sets that tackles can do. There's different defensive calls, you know what I'm saying, that is getting called. So, I think the number one thing to be a successful pass rusher is to have a lot of those opportunities to rush a passer. So if you think about if it's second and short all the time or third and short, you're not going to really get many opportunities to rush the passer. So I think we just got to get teams to continue to go into drop back pass situations, and I think that's just going to open up more pass rushing opportunities for us.
Defensively, what do you think was the biggest difference from the first half to the second half?
I think it's a little difficult. I think the biggest difference was the mindset and the mentality going into the second half, because we still felt like we were in the game going into the second half. I think we got to find a way to come out more hot during the first half, and that can kind of make teams, a little bit more. How can I put it? It makes teams a little bit more like exclusive. Like you can get them to do certain things when you have them more scared and more on their toes. So I think the more that we do that, the better that our outcome will be going into the second half. So yeah.
Rolling, I thought, coming off the field, it just felt those are games you do love to be a part of. The absolute battle, two teams like going for it, throwing punches back and forth, and I hate the outcome, but I love the fight. It's been tough as hell, for a while, and I thought our guys played hard as hell. Saw improvement. I saw where we can get better, and obviously there's plenty of room to continue to do that. But man, it was nice to have some guys back. Terry, I thought, made a bunch of big plays. Zach in the same space. But I thought one that just had like a warrior performance was Marcus. Just kind of willing it on some plays, using his arm, using his legs. It's tough ones to overcome. But like I said, I hate the outcome, but I do love the fight, where we're at, and get ready to start with you guys.
Yeah, I assume there's no hesitation going for two in that situation.
No, yeah, right going into it. Into the overtime spot, I thought that would be the way that we would go. I kind of think of that as like a third possession in a way, David, to say if you get on D and you go, you can tie or you can go, and like that's the way. If you tie, you got to stop and get it back again. So that was the strategy all along. And honestly, it was the play that we liked. We got it batted down, but against the man-to-man, that's one that we practiced a lot and we liked it. And so, I hate the outcome, but like there was no hesitation. No, I knew before the drive started, like, hey, we're going to score and we're going to go for two. Then you're in all four down territory, so it's more strategy in that way.
Did it feel in any way more representative of, I know last season was last season, but you went for it a bunch last season. You did a lot of things, fourth downs, all sorts of things. Did it feel like, this is how we play? Like this, win or lose, we're going to do this.
Yeah, we're going to be aggressive. I felt that way at the end for sure, to say, hey, this is like, there was no hesitation. Like, this is how we're going to go attack. Obviously, at this, in the first drive, you got to get stop to a field goal and not get the one, but they made their plays too. So, like I said, I thought leaving the field, I thought, man, this was two teams going for it. I felt that way. It felt like a battle. I loved the sideline. I loved, like back and forth, trading punches. Sometimes you take one, sometimes you're giving one. And I told the team, if we do those things and we hit those standards, it's not going to stay like this. And so I like the week of preparation, and that's just how we got to go get it done.
Some of those things that you've talked about wanting to see from your defense over the last few weeks, the speed, the energy, do you feel like those are starting to show on the field?
I was pleased with, for the most part, in the run game. I thought this has been a team that's been able to get down the edge. That's been one of the things that we haven't done as well, so I wanted to make sure we could do that. So that part felt good. It was good to get the takeaway from Wags. I thought that was one to, create momentum and go, and we'll need to continue to work that part. But, there was progress, that I think that's made certainly in the run game, and we got plenty of room to grow into that. But having Will Harris back, that was a big deal for us. This guy's tough. He's a great communicator, so I really felt the energy and the toughness of the guys.
Could you feel Terry's impact on the offense at the whole?
I could, and just the playmaking ability. I think that's really what it comes down to. Like, you need here's a guy in those spaces that, catches the ones to go inside. I thought the run and the run action was going to be a big part of this game. Denver's got a fantastic D, guys at all levels. So we knew there would be some runs that would be 1, 0. Could you get, a 10 and 8? But also, hopefully, that you'd have some run actions off of that, on the early downs, because you didn't want to get back into a drop back game against them. Like, that's how they want to play, and these guys can go eat. And so we didn't want to play that way. So I thought the screen game, the runs, the run action, and I like how that feels and looks anyway with where we're at.
Marcus, can you walk us through the touchdown with Terry and then the 2-point?
Yeah, they first of all, our guys just competed. That's why I love this locker room. And I'll go out there with those guys any day of the week. And made big plays at the end. The DC Vance was doing a good job of just mixing up 0 and showing 0 and dropping out. I felt like on the touchdown to Terry that they were going to drop out, that I could try to hit it before the plug defender inside. And Terry did a good job of winning at the line of scrimmage. And then the 2-point, he brought 0. I knew I had to try to get some depth and give our guy a chance. He made a play on it, and that's just the way it goes.
For a team that's struggled during the year, I mean, what did it feel like in that huddle when you knew you were going to go for 2 and go for it?
I loved it. I don't think there was any doubt in our minds across the board, and appreciate the confidence from Q. And it was just unfortunate we weren't able to convert.
What did you have Terry back?
That was great. You can see it out there, and he's a special player. The more that we can get him the rock, he's going to make plays for us. And made some big third down catches. Made an unbelievable catch to start the overtime to get us going. And unbelievable player, and we're fortunate to have him.
What happened on the interception?
Tried to throw the ball away and got hit. They covered it well, and sometimes that's the way it goes. It was unfortunate. I was trying to get it out of bounds over our guy's head. Intentional grounding seems to be kind of the call this year, so I was trying not to get another one, and played it too close to the edge and didn't get enough on it.
What did you see on the throw to Trey line in the corner?
One-on-one, really, to be completely honest with you. He's showed up in practice doing stuff like that, and wanted to give our guy an opportunity, and he made an unbelievable play.
Marcus, just the overall improvement from the team, really both phases. What does that show you, I guess, just kind of given what you guys have been through for the last 5-6 weeks?
We're going in the right direction. It's not exactly where we want to be, but I think putting together a great week of practice, I think we just continue to stack these. And regardless of what it looks like for us, it's all about the process and the journey. And the more that we can find ways to improve week to week, I think that sets a solid foundation for what's to come.
So with that being said, I know there was some other like notes and notables. If you all have been watching me for a while, you know that I have been having this game circled on my calendar for a long time. So this one is actually, this news information here is probably really small on you all's television screens, computer screens, and phone screens, but it was basically a stat from Next Gen Stats about Terry McLaurin. He caught 3 of 8 targets for 30 yards when covered by Pat Surtain. His final reception was the overtime touchdown. Pat Surtain had not allowed a touchdown on his last 507 coverage snaps dating back to week 13 of 2024. So Terry McLaurin ended that streak for the defensive player of the year. So everyone knows when I was talking about matchups, talking about games, that was one of the reasons why I had the Commanders and Denver Broncos game circled on my calendar, since we all knew that they were going to be playing the Denver Broncos. So luckily they were both healthy enough to play. And there's some more other tidbits that I'll be sharing as time goes on. You all, let's get into some of these clips, shall we? Again, I am your host, Candy Sewall Waller. This is the Washington Commanders update from the Coach from the Couch series. Wole is at the Wizards game. He's doing work. He's working. So he is not joining us this evening, but we are still cranking and getting it done after recapping week 13 of the NFL season, Washington Commanders, Denver Broncos. I'm definitely going to be taking all of you all's questions as much as I can possibly can and much as I can possibly answer. What I'm going to get into now is just some clips, because we haven't seen each other in a while. So we have to get into Dan Quinn's press conference. Much of these clips are going to be from Dan Quinn, just so you all know, from his press conferences. So Dan Quinn's presser last week, as well as his press conference this week, a little bit of Marcus Mariota, as well as Dan Quinn again today. So let's go ahead and get into some of these clips. There's a lot. We try to embed it all in there. Drop your questions, drop your comments on the video and clips that you're seeing. And as we go into each clip, I'll definitely share some insights. We'll always be using our clues, as you all know, and we'll just have a chat, shall we? So let's go ahead and get started on the clips.
They will inevitably ask maybe a question about what's ahead, and what I can tell you is certainly no luxury to do that, man. To me, it's all about right now, and we talk a lot about our culture and our standards, and those things weren't fully built just last year, and we began the building process of that, and man, it's cool. We're right in the thick of all of that. So show me a team with a strong standard, and I can confidently say they've been through some shit, and that's kind of where your standards get strengthened and tested and all those good things, and that's exactly where we are. And as I told the team, for all of us, man, like, we can dig and get more. That's game day and really every day. That's more speed, that's more focus, and players and coaches, man, we can for sure do that. It's doing the small things at a world-class level, and where we are, nothing to me is too small, and so this is our opportunity to elevate. And individually, as a team, that's our focus, where we're at and how we want to go after it. So that's kind of what I started our returning from the bye messaging, and I wanted to share that with you as we get started. And it was cool to be back out on the practice field today and get rolling again. We all needed that space, and now it's time to go again. So that said, I'll open it up with you guys, and we can get rolling to start the week.
So we always stop whenever my mother, Mama Waller, jumps on. So we'll say hi to Mama Waller. Pops Waller typically watches it later, so you could say hello to him as well. But my parents always watch every single show, so they're a part of the audience as well. So let's just go ahead. You always have to do that commercial break, because that is very, very important when your parents are watching the show. So let me know your thoughts on what Coach Quinn is saying after the bye. This was last week. Okay, so then we're going to work our way up to today in present day, because there's so much that can be taken from each one of these clips and videos and all the things. Let's go ahead and move into some more of the clips from last week, because as always, I have a ton of clips to share.
I think kind of on a macro level, I'm sure you took part of the bye to kind of look back at how the first, 11 weeks of the season went. When you look back kind of at yourself, your own performance and messaging or certain decisions you made, what's something that you took away from that review?
Yeah, there's a lot, honestly, Tom, when you go back through, because you want to make sure you're digging in on the right things and the right mindsets. And so I want to find out, like, where are the mistakes? And you want to answer, okay, do you know where they are? Are they fixable? Okay, yes and no's are, answers to those. And then here's the process that you have to go through to do that, because, like, as you know, like, the difference on those winning and losing comes down to these, differences that you need to do. So I wanted to dig back in hard. I asked a lot of collaboration with the coaches as well, in their opinion. So I wasn't just going to make it my point of view. I wanted to collaborate as strongly as I could, Tom, to make sure that everybody had a voice in this, and also, like, how we plan on, moving forward with real resolve and making sure the practices, the standards that we want are really being met. That's why I discussed it with the team too.
So we've often heard everything about collaborative decision making, all of that. So Coach Quinn in that response is sharing very much so that this is still part of the process. Him working with his team, his staff, as well as the players, in understanding where he can be better, where things can be better. And as you're listening to this, while the record may not reflect it at all, I think we can say that we've seen things be better. In the last couple of weeks here, we have seen things be better. So let's continue to see what happens. I know the win-loss column may not reflect all of that, but it definitely, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. So let's move on to some more of the clips from head coach Dan Quinn's press conference last week. Hey, Coach, you kind of touched on this a little bit in some of your responses to others' questions, but, last year we talked a lot about, and earlier this year as well, a lot about the commander standard and what it means to be a Washington Commander. Yep. So now that you all have gone through and going through some adversity here, yes, what have you kind of really seen as very important to that kind of framework of what it means to be a Washington Commander? Yeah, so much of it is mindset, Candy, isn't it? About when you're going through the hard things to say, all right, how's this mindset going to be? And when I was kind of referring to, like, the little things, it's not like you want to heighten them, and it's not a matter of letting them slip. It's a matter of, like, the extra attention that it goes, and really there doesn't have to be anything that's too small to go into that. The things that come to the top of my mind for me are kind of the winning time moments and the focus during there. That's a big piece of this, to make sure whether that's a fourth down, a 2-minute, an end of the game, those ones to where it goes from focus to the hyper focus. And you got to practice it. And I like the competition at practice. So having more guys back into practice, Candy, that's a big deal for me, because now that's more competition, more spaces to go do that. And so that's a big deal. But yeah, there's definitely, as much gets revealed in the difficult times, and you want to watch, you want to see how certain people are reacting, and knowing, okay, there's a person that's down for it. When the chips are down and they're, like, absolutely going for it, you do learn a lot. It sucks to go through it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But what I'd said earlier, you show me, like, a strong, confident team, and there's an excellent chance they went through something challenging, something tough along the way. I think that's teams, that's people, that's a lot of things that go through it. But I want that warrior mindset.